We're parents, teachers, and educators, and like you, we're passionate about restoring our culture for Christ. This is Veritas Vox, the voice of classical Christian education.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Veritas Vox, the voice of classical Christian education. Today we have with us the Bellucci sisters, mother and daughter, Jen Bellucci and Abby. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Marlon.
Jen, before you introduce Abby to the world, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and your educational background, your role at Veritas, and that sort of thing.
So I'm married to a veteran from the U.S. Air Force. He retired a few years ago. We have 5 children. We live down here in San Antonio, Texas. I have a master's degree, and I'm working for Veritas as a family consultant. So I kind of help assist with building curriculum plans for other families.
Very good. And one of the reasons I think you got connected to Veritas originally was for your children and because you were moving around and how much it was a stabilizing factor for them.
Absolutely. So I was looking for an Algebra 1 class. My husband was getting ready to go and deploy, and he was going to leave me with 5 children at home. And he was like, "You'll be fine." And I said, "I will be fine with the 5 kids, but I can't teach algebra." And that's where Veritas came in. So we selected one class. It was Algebra 1. We loved it so much that we came back the next year, and then we joined the full-time program.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And you now work as a family consultant, and of course, that works with mostly new families and returning families and helping getting them placed. And I know that's been a wonderful service for many people.
Absolutely. I couldn't have done it initially without the advising help that I had. So I'm glad that I can give back to others.
Yeah, that's great. Abby, how long have you been taking class at Veritas? Are you the oldest?
Yes, I'm the
Like-
oldest.
And you're graduating this year?
Yes,
Great. You have been with Veritas for how long?
for 7 years.
7 years. Does that mean you took algebra before 7th grade?
Yes, I took Algebra 1 in 6th grade.
Good for you. For the record, I think that is possible by more people, but you have to come up in a system that really keeps math going to do that. I got to ask you, being younger than most American children taking algebra, were there any special challenges for you? How did you find it as a 6th grader?
I don't think it was really challenging. I think I grew up all on that track already. And so I just found math interesting
Yeah.
and wanted to do it, which made it easy.
Yeah. Students that love math hate the repetition that some other classes do. And when you eliminate some of that, it helps you go at a pace that you're capable of. Was that your experience?
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Now, tell us, I know that led to some very interesting accomplishments, one of which has to do with our math classes. Tell us about that.
I've completed all of the upper level math classes at Veritas.
Okay. So when you say that, do you mean the electives as well as the core?
Yes.
So calculus 2 and statistics and business math, all of them.
And problem solving, yes.
Wow. Wow. What did you like best?
I would say the problem solving class.
And why is that?
I think it combined a lot of math, but also creativity, which is something else I really enjoy.
Okay. So you are graduating this year. My understanding is that you have a 4.9 GPA on, of course, the 4/5 scale. Very impressive. Well, you, Abby, you have taken an enormous amount of classes with Veritas. Do you happen to know how many different teachers you've had?
Combined between me and my siblings, 43.
Oh, my word. That's unbelievable. Do you have other classes outside the math that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the composition classes, the writing and creating like PowerPoints and stuff, as well as the Spanish that I did 1 and 2.
Like-
I got to do those with my sister, so that was
Oh,
really
wow. Were there other classes that you got to do with siblings?
Spanish was the only one that I did
Was
with my
it?
sister. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's the range and age of your family? You're the oldest at 17 or 18, I assume.
I'm 18 and my
18.
younger sister is 10. And
Okay.
then my two.
Yeah, so it wouldn't create much opportunity to take classes together, but that's kind of fun to be able to do that. Now, what are your plans for next year?
I'm going to be attending the University of Incarnate Word, where I
Okay.
will be diving as a Division 1 diver, and I'm going to study nuclear medicine.
Oh, wow. And does that prepare you then for the medical profession as a doctor?
Yeah, so I'll be in the DO program, the direct admit,
Uh-huh.
where they'll kind of prepare me for med school as well. Yes.
Very good. Did you say DO or DA program?
It's a direct admit program for
Okay. The
Yeah,
reason I
I said
asked
D.
is I thought maybe you were talking about becoming a DO as opposed to an MD. Is that what you're
the
also
UIW med school is DO.
as DO? Okay, so it was both. There was something else that you told me about that's fascinating. I'd love for you to tell our audience. Tell us about the scholarship money that you have been offered.
Yeah, so I've applied to 4 different colleges and I received $519,000.
Wow. Obviously, that's split over 4 schools. And, but even so, that is an incredible amount from one school, I'm sure, to take care of the cost of college for all 4 years, I assume.
Yes.
Wow. Mom, how's that make you feel?
It makes me feel really happy that we were able to use the transcript from Veritas to apply. It looks like it is a private Christian school, and so that helped greatly. She did get 2 full tuition offers, one from the University of Incarnate Word and one from another school, and then presidential scholarships to the other 2 schools.
Wow.
Yeah.
Presidential scholarships are typically the biggest scholarships offered. Is that the case in these two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
And
are always, we are always encouraged to hear that, because when we can not only provide what we think is the best education and set students up for college in the best possible way in terms of entrance and in terms of scholarship, that seems to me to be a win-win. And I love hearing stories like this.
yeah, we're pretty happy with the education that Veritas gave us and led us down this path. She's going in with, I think, 30 dual credits as well from Veritas.
Is that right? What did, now, were classes selected on a dual credit basis, or did they work pretty well with what you wanted anyway?
They worked well with what I wanted to do. There were a few classes where they weren't really like something I was like interested in the beginning, but I found interesting after.
Okay. How will that work for you then? Do you essentially step in from an hours standpoint as if you're a sophomore? And are there classes still that are freshman classes versus sophomore classes? Describe to the people who may not have experienced that, what you're experiencing in terms of how it puts you into college and your placement there.
So I'll enter with the credits and I'll probably just use them to lighten my loads throughout the 4 years. So
Okay.
I'll have like a lighter load.
Okay, very good. So you do still plan to take 4 years to go
Yes.
through college. Do you know anything about how others at Veritas do that?
No.
No? Okay, understood. Uh, that is really cool. You talked about the problem solving class being your favorite. How do you think calculus will benefit you in med school? Any thoughts about that?
Well, there's a lot of math involved in like medicine and stuff, so I think it'll be very beneficial.
Okay. The yeah, one of the things that this question is really for both of you, but one of the questions I frequently, I haven't seen it recently, but a lot of times I'll see on social media a meme or something that says another day and I didn't use algebra. What would you say to them as you think about a math education? You just got done talking about how important you think it will be to your medical interests. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. I wonder if you can, either of you can talk about that a little bit, because I think math is far more directly applicable than what most people think.
So can I answer that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a neighbor who had stopped by our house once and said that his granddaughter was struggling with algebra, and he didn't know why we were teaching it because he's never used algebra in his entire life. And he was trying to relate to my husband, who basically said, I use algebra every day. So my husband is an operational research analyst, and so he works down here locally, and math is something that we see in data sheets everywhere. So whether you're in marketing or sales or business, medicine, it's definitely needed.
Yeah. I think it's even more practical than that. When I think of ordering a sequence of things I need to do, there's an algebraic consideration for that. This is on the way. This will take this much time. All those things are really, they're intuitively a part of what we do, so much so that I don't think we really realize the reasoning that's going into the whole process. Where do you see your brothers and sisters in their education at Veritas? By the way, I know there are 5 of you, so I assume there were brothers and sisters. You're not all girls, are you?
No.
Okay.
So start with Amelia and then go down. Or start with Ashlyn. Ashlyn's in what grade?
No, what grade she says.
As a homeschooler, she's like, what grade is she in?
Yeah, exactly. If she's 10, she's probably in 5th or 6th grade.
She's in 4th. She just turned 10.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'll let you speak.
Yeah, so Ashlyn's in 4th grade, and then Autumn is in 6th grade. Archer's in 10th. No, wait, 8th grade. Amelia's in 10th grade.
Okay. From the things that they're studying, the things that you've studied, what kinds of things do you find most enjoyable at dinner time to talk about? Does education and the classes come to dinner?
Yes, all the time.
What are some of your favorite conversations for that have happened?
I think we have a lot of math homework conversations because that seems to be the one class that everybody kind of asks Abby questions about.
Okay.
Different word problems. There was one just the other day, but I don't remember what it was.
Now, in your problem-solving class, I understand you had a project of significance that you really enjoyed. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so for our 2nd semester project, we got to pick between a travel itinerary and a string art project. So I got to do the string art project and make it completely from scratch.
Very cool. Tell me, maybe this is to you, Mom. Tell me about an omnibus book or a controversial discussion that you might have had around dinner table related to one of the great books that your children have read.
Yeah, so we've read so many of the books from Omnibus and had great conversations around the dinner table. I'm sure, like many families, we've loved the C.S. Lewis books, and those have always been very clean. Those are on our bookshelf, but one of the more interesting stories was when we were trying to decide if we were going to rent our house out or sell it, and we were having realtors come through. The Mein Kampf book is on our shelf.
Yeah.
Mein Kampf. Yeah, the Mein Kampf book is on our shelf. And my husband was like, I don't think we should have Mein Kampf on the shelf, because of who wrote it. And like, he was like, I don't want people to think that we're associated with that. And I was like, it's important to still put it out there and know that that's part of history. And that's something that we don't want to repeat.
Yeah. Yeah. You run into an interesting dilemma there, because when we see somebody's bookshelf, we tend to think those are the books that they've put up there because they've read them and enjoyed them. But sometimes we read things for reasons of avoiding them and understanding them better in order to make sure that things don't repeat themselves. And that's why, of course, we read a book like Mein Kampf. Well, that is wonderful. The whole idea of providing an education like this is really to give students an opportunity to pursue the things that interest them and to really have a broad education. And I think you're the first person, Abby, that I've ever heard that not only took all the core math curricula, but all of the extracurricular math courses as well. Not extracurricular, but electives. Do you plan to do that in college too?
I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see.
You probably don't know what all they have to offer yet. It could be
I'm
quite a
not sure
variety.
yet.
Yeah. Where do you have any idea where you'd like to go to med school?
I haven't thought that far out yet.
Okay. Very good. Well, we look forward to your graduating. Will you be at the end of your graduation, end of your gathering to walk in graduation?
Yes, I will be.
Well, that's wonderful. Look forward to having you in Lancaster. Guys, thank you so much. Any last words to offer to students that might be considering Veritas or their parents?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I didn't necessarily mention, but is worth mentioning, is that we were a CC family for about 3 years prior to coming to Veritas. And when we were looking at our next steps and challenge A, we knew that everything had to be in a box where everybody takes the same classes. And that's one thing that we've really appreciated about Veritas, is there's not a box that says this is 6th grade, this is 7th grade, this is 8th grade. It's pick and choose the classes that work best for you. And so like Abby did Spanish with her siblings or her sister's done classes with her brother's done classes with her other sister. So we've shared a lot of classes, even though it's a 2-year age gap per child.
Yeah. And with the variety like that, or the approach where you can take what you want to, that's what gave you the opportunity to take all the math classes that would have been very difficult to do in most circumstances. It's exciting to hear. I love math, and to hear somebody doing that I'm kind of envious.
Yeah. Do you want to tell him how you took your business math class?
Yeah, one of my friends told me she was taking business math over the summer and that I should take it with her for fun, and so I did.
That's great. Well, in most classical education, people don't think of the value of a business math class. And that was something that was important to me, because I remember when I took it in college, and it was one of the most practical classes in understanding finance and other things from a pure math standpoint. I hope you got the same benefit.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Well, Bellucci's, thank you so much for joining us today. And folks, thank you for joining us on another episode of Veritas Vox, the voice of classical Christian education. We hope to see you next time. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks. Bye, Marlon.
Bye-bye.